Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Myra and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a tortilla recipe. So if you would like to know how to make tortillas from scratch, go ahead and keep on watching. If you do not have a tortilla press, that's totally fine. You can skip to the end and I will show you guys how to do them with a rolling pin. They are a little bit more time consuming, but they work just fine. So if you are interested in watching, then stick around. Okay, you will need 2 cups of maseca. I'm using yellow corn maseca only because I didn't notice until after. So I usually like using the regular white corn maseca. I'll try and post a picture for you guys so you guys know what it looks like. But yeah, 2 cups of white corn maseca. Okay, so here's a picture of the maseca that I wanted to use, the one I regularly use, but I didn't use today. And here's the example of white corn versus yellow corn. Okay, so now you will need to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And you can do 1 cup or 1.5. It just depends with the consistency later on. Once you add the water, you can put a little bit more or you can just leave it as is. Okay, so usually we use plastic bags, like grocery bags, but you can use a parchment paper, wax paper for this. What I have right here is just wax paper, and you want to go ahead and fold it like I am doing here. And you're gonna essentially just want to cut out 2 large circles. But you guys will see later on, it didn't work that well. I mean, it did work for just a few tortillas, but after a while it just got soggy and it just didn't work, so I had to throw them away. And then I just cut out some new plastic grocery bags into circles. Just make sure when you do that to really wash them well with soap, let them dry, and then you can go ahead and use them. And feel free to try and use anything else. I couldn't think of anything else. Usually we just use grocery bags. But yeah, if you find a solution or if you know of a different trick, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Alright, here I'm just showing you that you want 2 of these, so go ahead and make 2 out of whatever you'd like that you think might work. So yeah, just go ahead and fold it back up and then trace a line over whatever, do what I'm doing here. They don't have to be exactly the same, they don't have to be perfect circles, you just want them to be round and large enough for your tortillas to fit in there. You will need a tortilla press if you have one. If not, I'll show you guys towards the end what you can do instead. You will need your cutout circles, some cheesecloth or just a napkin so you can put your tortillas in. And you will need a griddle. Any kind of griddle will work just fine. And keep the heat on medium-high heat. Alright, now let's get ready to mix now that we have everything together. So go ahead and mix the flour mixture first, and then you can add warm water. Make sure it is warm water, not hot, not cold, just some room temperature or warm water. And then just add a little bit of it at a time. So this part, I can't really like tell you guys how much exactly water to put, because like I said, you just want to put a little bit of a time, mix, a little bit more, mix until the right consistency. And so, but towards the end, I'll let you guys know around how much water I think I ended up using. Okay guys, so after about 6 or so minutes of mixing, this is about the consistency that you want your masa to be. So once you squeeze in with your hands like I'm doing here, if it comes out and stays like that, that's pretty much when it's, you know, it's done and it's ready. Another thing you can do to test it is roll it into a little ball and make sure that there's no cracks. If you see any cracks, you can add a little bit more water and keep mixing. But if there's no cracks or anything and it's just a perfect ball, then that means it's ready. So to be honest, I can't really tell you guys about how much water I ended up using, even watching the video a week later. Actually, it's been over a week, but I can't tell how much I used. I'm so sorry. I think maybe if I were to take a guess, I think I might have used about 2 to 3 cups of warm water, little bit at a time until you get the right consistency. Okay, after a couple more minutes of mixing, as you can see, it is now done. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So if you get that consistency, that's how you know you're done. I let it sit. I'm gonna roll it all and then I'm gonna let it sit for at least 30 minutes. You don't have to. You can make them right away. But I like to leave it, let it sit for 30 minutes to an hour, because I've heard that if you do that, the tortillas will puff up better. And I love puffed up tortillas. If they're not puffed up, they're not that great, honestly, to me and to my family. Like, my mom gets a perfect puffed tortilla every single time. But that's what I'm doing right here, is just roll it all together. And once you have that, let it sit, put a cheesecloth on top or something like that, and then you can come back to it, or you can, like I said, you can make them right away. I just want to mention real quick, another thing you can do is you can actually wrap this with plastic wrap and let it sit in the refrigerator for a couple days and nothing bad will happen, and then you can use it the next day or the following day. Obviously, don't leave it in for too many days, but maybe like 3 days in the fridge. It will still be fresh, so you guys can get to your tortilla making a lot faster next time. And 30 minutes later, this masa is ready to get going. So now you will need a cup with warm water, just so that you can dip your fingers in, or your hands, so that the masa won't stick onto your hands so much, especially when you're rolling your masa into little balls and whatnot. Okay guys, so I wanted to make this video a lot shorter for you guys. I'm so sorry I was not able to do that. But anyway, so the size of the balls that you roll, it's up to you. It doesn't really matter. You can make them big, you can make them small. It honestly does not matter. Once you flatten it out a bit, you put it in between both pieces of parchment paper or whatever it is you are using, and then you're going to use your tortilla press and press down hard, like really hard, to make it nice and super flat, as thin as you can. Okay, so now you want to go ahead and peel off the top. Then you're gonna get your hands a little bit wet with the warm water you have next to you. That way the tortilla, the masa, sticks onto your hands a little bit better, so you can hold it. And then you're gonna hold it with your left hand if you're right-handed. And then you're gonna peel off with the right. And then place it on the edge of your other hand. Just on the edge, like I'm doing here, if you can. I know it can be a little bit hard at first, and then you're just gonna place it like I did right now. So you're gonna do 3 flips. So this is gonna just stay here for about 30 seconds until the edges start to like kind of turn a different color, I guess. Once it does that, then you can go ahead and flip it like I'm doing here. I'm checking, just leaving it a little bit longer. Once, if you can slide it like I just did, that means it's ready to flip. So go ahead and flip it, and then this one's gonna take a little bit longer. You want it to cook all the way through until you do the last flip. While you're waiting, go ahead and get started on your next tortilla. That way you're a little bit of ahead. And then right here, I'm just checking, it's still not done. So then I just move it to the side. So like I said, the parchment paper didn't really work. It started to rip. So I opted to use plastic ones instead again. So please make sure to wash them thoroughly really good before you start using them. I just want to show you guys real quick the difference when you use the actual plastic rounds, because the tortilla actually ends up being a lot thinner, which is what you want for a really good tortilla. So, and they became a lot bigger as well, and they're a lot easier to work with. So if you can, just use that, but if not, it's totally up to you. You can use parchment paper or anything else. Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys an easy way of laying down your tortilla. So you're gonna do the same thing as I explained earlier, but with the other hand, pass it through like that. Because if you do that, if you kind of mess up, with the other hand, it will push the tortilla all the way down. That's what I started doing when I first started doing tortillas and I just couldn't get it right. Just do that and I promise you it will work. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm trying to show you here. Once the edges turn a different color, you can slide it. That's when you do the first flip, like I mentioned in the beginning. So just to show you guys, this is what you want it to look like. Once it looks like that, then you can do the last flip. And then you press down gently in the middle and it will help the tortilla puff up even better. If your tortillas don't puff up, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It'll still taste good. But if they do puff up, they taste a lot better. So see the browning there? That's what you want it to look like. If you're still here, thank you so much for still watching my long video. So now I'm going to show you guys, if you don't have a tortilla press, this is what you're going to do. It's a lot harder, I will say that. Well, more time consuming. But if you don't have a tortilla press, this is something you can do. So you're going to do the same thing, put it in between both pieces of plastic, and then you're going to grab your rolling pin and you're just going to roll it out into a circle, and that's it. Then once you do that, then you go back to the griddle and you start doing the same thing as before. Alright, there you have it. That's how you make tortillas. These are all done and stacked up. So I usually wait until they cool down a bit before putting it in the refrigerator. When you do put them in the refrigerator, make sure you wrap them like this with a cloth, and then you put it in a Ziploc bag or a plastic bag, and then you can keep it in the refrigerator. That is it, guys. This is how they turned out. We are going to eat ours with some caldo de pollo, which is just chicken soup. And thanks so much for watching. If you stayed until the end, thank you. I appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and stay tuned for more videos. Alright guys, there you have it. That's how you make homemade tortillas from scratch. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.